I want to start today with a little word association game. It's a simple one.
Okay.
If I say the word sales, what is the absolute first image that flashes into your mind? Don't even think about it.
Oh, that's immediate. It's visceral. I see a guy in a cheap, slightly shiny suit.
Yep.
He's on a paved lot, with those inflatable tube men waving in the background. He's sweating, smiling way too wide.
Oh, the smile, yeah.
And he's trying to convince me that a 2004 sedan with a missing bumper is actually a mechanic's dream.
Exactly. It feels slimy, doesn't it?
It feels like manipulation.
It feels like you're being hunted, like a trap.
Yeah.
I think for most people, sales is basically a dirty word. It's something other people do. People who, have sold their souls or just have no shame.
Right.
But we have a stack of sources today that are going to, I think, grab us by the shoulders and just shake that definition right out of us.
It is a complete demolition of that stereotype. It changes the whole definition.
So we are digging into this really high-impact conversation between Jay Shetty and a sales expert, Shelby Sacco. And the core premise here is, it's going to sound a little aggressive at first.
Yeah.
So stick with us. The argument is that sales isn't just a job title you put on LinkedIn. It is a biological survival skill.
Right. The source material basically argues you cannot opt out of sales. You might not have a quota or a commission structure, but just think about your day.
Yeah.
If you're dating, you're selling yourself, interviewing for a job. You are selling your skills, trying to convince your kid that broccoli is, tiny, delicious trees.
You are absolutely selling.
You are selling.
Even just trying to get yourself out of bed on a freezing cold morning.
That is the most important sale of all. You are pitching this vision of the future. Get up, have some coffee, feel productive to your own tired, resistant brain.
Yeah.
So if you think I'm not a salesperson, you're kind of walking through life without the one tool you need for human interaction.
And that brings us to the core theme of this whole deep dive. Sacco uses a term that I think really elevates the conversation. It strips away that whole used car salesman vibe.
Okay.
She calls it emotional leadership.
This is the key concept. If you get this, you get everything else.
So define that for us. Because emotional leadership sounds very different from closing the deal.
It is. The common idea is that sales is manipulation forcing someone to do what you want them to do for your benefit. Emotional leadership just flips that entire script.
How so?
It assumes the person across from you, or even you yourself, is stuck. They're in a state of indecision or fear or pain. They don't know the way forward.
They need a leader.
A guide, essentially. Exactly. You aren't tricking them. You are providing the emotional certainty they lack. You're helping them navigate their own hesitation to get to a better outcome that they actually want.
You're leading them out of the woods.
That's it.
That reframe makes it sound almost noble, which is a wild thing to say about sales.
Yeah.
But before we get into the tactics, and we have some great ones, like the tea and pen example,
Oh, those are good.
we have to start where the source starts, the inner game.
This is where most people lose before they even open their mouths.
The source introduces this concept of rolling objections. Now, I know what that means in a boardroom. A client says no.
And you roll past it to get to a yes.
Right. But Sacco argues that the hardest objections you will ever face are the ones in your own head.
The internal monologue.
Exactly. I'm not qualified for this job. It's too risky to start that business.
She's out of my league. I'm too old to learn this. Those are objections. And most of us, we just accept them as facts.
So what's the alternative? Do we just, delusionally ignore that voice?
No, because delusion breaks down. Sacco suggests this really specific internal script. You have to treat your brain like a customer. So when that voice says, you aren't good enough, you acknowledge it. You say, I hear you. You validate the fear because it's trying to protect you. But then you follow it with this question, can I challenge that?
I hear you, but can I challenge that?
It's gentle, but it's firm. It creates this little gap between the feeling and the action. It lets you negotiate with your own insecurity.
This leads right into what the source calls the confidence paradox. I read this and I realized I have been doing this wrong my entire life. I always think, once I feel confident, then I'll do the scary thing.
Waiting for the feeling to arrive. It sounds logical, right? It feels safe. But the source material is, it's brutal on this point. That is just not how human psychology works.
We have the order backward.
Completely backward.
Yeah.
You take the action first, you do the hard thing, you face what she calls the suck, and then only after you survived do you get the evidence.
And that collection of evidence.
That is confidence.
So confidence is just a receipt. It's a receipt that proves you did the scary thing and didn't die.
Precisely. You can't think your way into confidence. You have to act your way into it. In fact, Sacco says the best salespeople have to be a little psychotic.
I laughed at that part, but she doesn't mean dangerous psychotic, right?
No, not in a criminal way, but psychotic in the sense of reality distortion. They have to tell themselves little lies to deal with rejection.
So if someone hangs up on them,
A normal person thinks, I'm annoying, I'm a failure, I should quit. We internalize it. We make it about our worth.
right?
The psychotic salesperson thinks, oh, that guy probably just spilled hot coffee on his lap. He's having a bad day. I'll call the next one. They rewrite reality in real time to protect their momentum.
That is a superpower. Okay, so we've established the mindset. We're rolling our own objections. We're rewriting reality. Let's get into the mechanics. The source lays out 4 specific steps.
And remember, these apply to everything. A software package, a job interview, everything.
Step 1, pattern interrupt. Why is that first?
Because our brains are designed to filter out noise. I mean, think about it. We are just bombarded. If you sound like everyone else, hi, how are you today? You're noise. You're invisible.
You're the robot voice on the phone.
Exactly. A pattern interrupt is doing something different immediately. A joke, a weird question, a bold statement, something that signals, I am not a robot. This is different.
Okay, step 2, leverage. Now, this sounds a bit like pain points, which is classic sales jargon.
It is, but with a nuance. You can sell the exact same fitness program 10 different ways. To one person, it's weight loss. To another, it's gaining muscle. To a third, it's energy to play with your kids.
So if you just list the features of the gym without knowing why they're there,
You're just talking at them. Leverage is about empathy. It's asking enough questions to find out what specifically hurts for this person and then offering the cure for that specific pain.
which leads perfectly to step 3, value. Or, as I say, sell the sizzle, not the steak.
Nobody cares about the steak.
What a love steak.
You love the taste of the steak, the experience. You don't care about the cow. In the source, they say nobody cares about the ingredients of your product or the bullet points on your resume.
They care about what it does for them.
Does it make them faster,
Mhm.
happier, richer? That's the sizzle.
And finally, step 4, kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. And the ask.
This is the choke point. People do all this great work, build rapport, show the value, and then they get awkward. They just trail off.
So, yeah, that's it. Let me know.
Kills the deal. You have to be crystal clear on what happens next, and you have to actually ask for the sale. Sacco says you have to be willing to be annoying.
That word triggers people.
Yeah.
Annoying. We are conditioned not to be annoying.
But she owns it. She says she built a career on it. But reframe it. It's persistence. It's believing in your value enough to say, hey, we need to do this. This will help you.
If you believe in it, persistence isn't annoying. It's a service.
Exactly. You're serving them.
I want to ground this in reality. The theory's great, but the source provided 2 vivid demonstrations. One was a can of tea, one was a pen. Let's break down the tea first.
This was a masterclass. So Jay hands her a random can of tea. The wrong way, the amateur way, is to say, hey, this has 150 milligrams of caffeine. It has adaptogens. Look at the cool can.
Which is exactly what I would have done. Look, vitamins. Good for you.
And it fails because I don't care about vitamins. I care about me. So Shelby's method is totally different. She doesn't even talk about the tea at first. She asks questions. Jay, tell me about your day. When do you crash?
The 3 p.m. slump. We all know that feeling.
Right. The brain fog. And she asks, what do you usually grab? He says, sugary snacks, bad coffee. So now she has leverage. He has a problem. The 3 p.m. crash.
So she positions the tea not as the drink, but as the antidote.
She positions it as the tool to help him show up as his best self for his work and his family. And a close was brilliant. She asks, what is it worth to you to be your best self? Everything. Okay, well, I'm only asking for $5.
Wow, everything versus $5. It makes the price feel totally irrelevant.
That's emotional leadership. She sold the identity, not the liquid.
Okay, let's look at the second demo. The pen. The classic, sell me this pen challenge.
It's a cliche for a reason. And again, the trap is to talk about the ink flow or the grip. Shelby ignores the pen.
She asks him what he does. He says podcaster, writer. She asks when he uses one.
And he admits he barely does, maybe to write down notes when he's on a call getting million-dollar advice.
That's the hook.
That's the hook.
Right.
She creates the scenario. You're on the phone, getting life-changing advice, and you reach for a pen. Do you want to capture that idea with a chewed-up 50-cent Sharpie that might be out of ink?
Ooh, that visceral image of the chewed-up pen. It gives me anxiety just thinking about it.
It creates a gap. And then she pivots. Or do you want this reliable, professional pen offering you peace of mind that you are ready when opportunity calls?
She wasn't selling a writing utensil. She was selling preparedness.
Preparedness and peace of mind. In both cases, the physical product was the least interesting part of the conversation.
Okay, so we've made the pitch. But now comes the scary part. The objections. Let's tackle the big one first. It's too expensive.
This is where you have to get intellectual. The expert move is to distinguish between price and cost.
Walk me through that. In my head, they're the same thing.
Not in sales. Price is what you pay right now. It's the sticker. Cost is what you pay later if you don't fix the problem.
Ah, okay. Interesting.
So sure, the health coach has a high price today, but what's the cost of another 5 years of being unhealthy, low energy, maybe getting sick? That cost is infinitely higher.
That is a powerful reframe. It makes the price seem small.
Okay, what about the stalling tactic? I need time to think. I use this one all the time.
We all do.
Yeah.
Sacco suggests a clarifying question that cuts right through it. Do you need quantity of time or quality of time?
Ooh, I like. Most people think they need a weak quantity. But usually what they need is quality information. They have unanswered questions. And her point is decisions are made in the gray area. You don't wait for perfect conditions.
And then there's the classic, I need to ask my spouse or partner. This feels like a hard stop.
It's tricky, but her approach is bold. She calls it the flip. She asks, if your wife came to you with a solution to a problem she's been struggling with, would you support her?
And obviously you say yes.
Right, so she follows up. Then wouldn't she support you in solving this problem?
Wow. That's kind of a checkmate.
It challenges the assumption that the partner is an obstacle and reframes them as a supporter. It prevents them from hiding.
It really is emotional leadership.
Yeah.
So let's pivot to how this applies to our careers, specifically asking for a raise. This is where most people feel powerless.
The first rule is brutal. Do not rely on entitlement. I've been here 3 years is not a sales pitch. It's just a statement of time.
Hard truth.
You need leverage. Sacco advises bringing data, what have you achieved, what numbers did you hit, and bring competitor offers if you have them. But the real secret sauce is selling the long game.
What does that sound like?
It sounds like this. I want to grow with this company. I see my future here. But I need the math to make sense so I can fully invest my attention here.
I see the shift. You're not asking for money for a new car. You're asking for money so you can be a better asset to them.
Exactly. It aligns your incentives with theirs. And that connects to interviews, too. Stop making it about you. I want experience. Nobody cares.
The hiring manager has their own problems.
Correct. Make it about them. I love your vision, and here is specifically how I can help you hit your revenue goals. You shift the entire power dynamic.
Instead of begging for a job, you're offering a solution.
And that leads to one of the most provocative parts of the source, the wealth gap mindset. The difference between the person earning $50,000 and the person earning $500,000.
Is it just working 10 times harder?
Not necessarily. It's about how they see the ceiling. The 50K earner sees a job with a salary cap, a defined box. The 500K earner sees no cap. They have blind optimism. They eat what you kill. They know if they add value, the money will follow.
There was another concept here that really stuck with me, the invisible guest. Can you unpack that?
Oh, this is profound. Think about a wedding. You spend a fortune stressing about the dress, the flowers, what everyone will think. But in reality, most people there are invisible guests. They're thinking about themselves. They don't really care about your napkins.
But we spend our money to impress them.
We buy the luxury bag, the Louis Vuitton, to signal status to these invisible guests. But here's the tragedy. We hesitate to spend that same money on a course or a coach or a skill.
Because that's internal. Nobody sees it.
Exactly. We need to shift focus from how do they see me to how do I see myself. The bag changes their perception. The skill changes your reality.
That cuts deep. We're investing in the audience, not the actor.
And investing in skills like sales is what actually changes your tax bracket. The bag just hides it.
As we wrap up, I want to hit the final advice from the source, which was honestly a bit of a wake-up call. It's about speed.
Yeah, this goes against a lot of the modern slow living advice. Sacco's philosophy is go as fast as possible.
Why? That sounds like a recipe for burnout.
She argues urgency creates results. If you know what you want, why wait 10 years if you could get it in 2? People tell you to slow down, but often that's because your speed makes them uncomfortable.
So ignore the people telling you to chill out.
If you have a goal, run at it. And the companion to that is her final law. Use the cards you were dealt.
This was refreshing. She basically said, Stop trying to be humble if you have an advantage.
Right. If you have family money, use it. If you're good looking, use it. If you have connections, use them. There's this tendency to feel guilty about unfair advantages.
We want to feel like we earned it the hard way.
But the world isn't fair. Don't fake humility. Your job is to win the game, not make sure everyone feels good about their hand.
It's not about playing fair. It's about playing your hand.
Exactly.
So if we synthesize all of this, the tea, the pen, the invisible guests, what's the big takeaway?
It means that sales is really just the ability to communicate your value. It's not something to be afraid of. It's the tool that lets you design your life. If you don't learn to sell your ideas, your skills, you're leaving your potential in someone else's hands.
You're waiting for them to notice you, and the world is too busy for that.
Sales is about making sure you are seen.
And realizing you can challenge your own internal objections just as easily as you can at customers. I hear you, but can I challenge that? That's going to be my mantra for the week.
It's a good one.
That's it for this deep dive. We'll see you next time. Go out there and sell something, even if it's just selling yourself on the idea that you can do it.
See you next time.